Good morning. I was just floofing and moving.
Just tidying.
Always. It doesn't matter. I say this every morning. It doesn't matter how long I have. The last few minutes, I'll always be. Good morning to you. How are you? It is Make It Monday. I'm not making anything today, well, apart from a mess. But that's standard, right? I'm just looking around. Not too bad. We have the lovely Sarah Payne in with us today, who has had COVID. She's on the mend. We're going to be very, very gentle with her today. Very gentle.
Yeah, don't ask me anything too complicated.
It's like a proper brain fog, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I liken it to what people tell me baby brain is like. So, I've never had baby brain.
I don't know when that goes, though, to be fair.
Do you not?
8 years
I'm hoping this goes soon, because the ability to count questions that I know the answer to, I just can't find them.
Yeah, no, like I say, 8 years in. Friends to say, still, don't know. So good morning to you. I hope your Monday is fabulous. A bit murky out there. It's murky Make It Monday. But we are here with beautiful, beautiful, beautiful fabrics and all sorts for you today. So this is what Sarah has brought for us. It is ombre-tastic and I love it very, very much.
It's gorgeous, isn't it?
It really is. It really is, but you've got to have the right fabric for it. That's the key.
It is the fabric that makes this. You know, if you did it with anything else, it just really wouldn't.
It wouldn't just no.
Yeah,
forget it. So, but Sarah has brought the kits with us. She's just lurking over there, by the way. She will be on in a minute. And then we have for you. Oh no, there's the hand.
Just to prove I am here.
Just a voice in the background. We also have. I've got a tiny bit of the Lewis and Irene double-edged border.
That is gorgeous. I love it.
It's for Captain Small, ready for the Jubilee. It's
beautiful.
Emily's pillowcase dress. And when I did the pillowcase dress, I did the pattern. And a lot of you have got the pattern anyway because of the Pay It Forward project. I did it so that it would just keep getting bigger with her. There's all the different sizes. So that with a little T-shirt or vest underneath, pair of leggings, she's away. She is away. Lovely Gainer made that for me. Isn't it gorgeous? But it's got all the Jubilee stuff. I know. Well, you can make a skirt. Yeah, you can make a skirt. That's my international symbol for a skirt. And what else have we got? Oh! I have got a tiny bit. I did a warehouse walk around with one of my suppliers, and I was like, hang on, go back. This is all on Zoom. Back. Those. What are those? And she's like, I don't have full bolts for you, Tash. I was like, no. You're sending me whatever you have. Tim Holtz.
Beautiful.
So you saw 2 of them on Friday. And we've done this into a 6-piece fat quarter bundle for you. Remember, if you buy multiples, we will cut it in one continuous piece. So if you buy 2, we'll cut you a ½ metre of each. Do you want to see? Because they are divine. Oh. I know.
And they might have to leave with me, actually. I might have to get a fat quarter bundle.
The thing is, you've had COVID, you ain't running fast, so we'll catch you.
I was going to pay for them. I just put one aside to me in my shopping bag before I leave.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I'm not running anywhere.
They just leg it with it, it's fine. So
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love a variegated fabric and I love a variegated thread because you can do so much with those blends.
This is it, isn't it? It's a blender and you don't have to worry about getting the exact match.
Yep.
There's going to be a colour in there somewhere. They are super exquisite. Like I say, they're from Tim Holtz and you have got the rainbow there, which just makes me
I do that as a small log cabin.
Happy.
I do individual log cabin blocks with each colour and put that together in a whole quilt.
Would you?
Yeah, I would.
Would you now?
I would.
Do you know what we haven't done yet, Sarah?
What's that?
Say hello to everyone.
Oh, hello.
Very, 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 very well. I mean, you've sort of croaked it a bit.
I have. I waved.
The hand has been in. More of the rest of Sarah is also here.
Yeah, I've brought all of me.
Let's say hello. We've got Denise, we've got Margaret. She says happy Monday, Natasha McCarthy, and happy you are on the mend, Sarah. Rebecca says morning. Hope everyone is feeling well today. I think that's debatable for Sarah. Morning, Karen. She says morning, Team Tash and the Makes family. Sending Sarah a huge hug. There's lots of love and hugs for you today.
I had so many messages while I was off. Thank you, everybody.
Do you know what? I think everyone comes together, don't they? Morning to one and all, says Kim. A special hello to the amazing Sarah Payne. Yay! Jenny Miller's with us as well. Good morning. And Jane and Adele. She's making a skirt with hers. I think she means that.
Yeah.
That's why I'm deducing. Morning, Grace. She's a great start to the week. Sylv just says, OMG, they're gorgeous. And Helen says, morning, Natasha and Sarah, just dropping in before I go to work. Oh, the wonderful working people. Annie's with us, Whispers with us, Glennis is with us, and Helen, hello, and Heather, hello, and Annie, hello, and Tony, hello, and Marilyn, good morning, girls, a lovely colourful start to the day. And Pam says, morning, gorgeous ladies. I hope Sarah's feeling better. Yeah, and Kirsty says pretty much the same.
Oh, thank you, everybody.
So we have got everyone with us this morning, and hello to all of you YouTubers that we don't really say hello to because I can't have everything up. I just can't do it.
Yeah. So many
That's
comments.
my limit. So many comments, not enough time, right? But it's nice because sometimes our YouTubers pop onto Facebook and go, hello. Or they put us little notes with their order and go, we're YouTubers, so you don't normally speak to us, but hello. And it's ever so nice.
Well, morning, YouTubers.
Good morning, YouTubers. I've got a couple of other things. Can you tell I've been shopping? Now, I don't know if I did have 6 of these because Inga was parading around the place with these. Adele says yes, the border print. I tested positive yesterday. Upside is I can watch live. Do you know what? That's the only upside that we're going with. It's just an upside, right?
Yes. Well, if she's lucky, she'll have the one with no symptoms, which I keep hearing people had. I didn't get that one. That's just horrid.
That was not
it was
not your one.
Gee, thanks, guys. Didn't share that one. That is beautiful.
I'm just gonna hold. I have got 5 of these, and that is it.
I would be embellishing the heck out of those flowers.
It's $19.99. I mean, that's a quilt in its own right, or you can chop it up and do stuff with it. It's entirely up to you.
I'd have a triptych. The bottom 3 there, I'd put those up as a triptych quilt.
Nice.
Individual, hanging on the wall, and the others I would put as cushions on the sofa underneath.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Why not? What would you do with this one? Big
That
old
one would go
over
along. That would fit nicely in my stairwell.
It's that sort of sort of thing, isn't it? But I've only got 5.
I mean, that could take beads and buttons in the centre of those flowers, exquisite threads.
Yes, this was another one that I need that in my life. It's only a partial bolt. I don't care.
This is why I never have any free time, because I see something, I go, oh, I know what I could do with that.
I know. I am starting. It's called Picture Perfect. It's by Sue Penn. I'm starting to realise my limits, that maybe I'm only going to manage to do the stuff that's actually on my show. Right, also by Sue Penn. And this is so Inga basically unravelled this the other day and was parading around with it as
a dress.
Yeah, not going to lie. Karen, could you see that as a dress?
Or a whole cloth that you just free motion quilt the heck out of.
Well, I mean, yeah. All of the above, right? The eagle-eyed Inga, as she shall henceforth be known when we're not calling her Mrs. Doyle, said that is a big pattern repeat. Natasha, are you selling it by the half metre, or do you want to actually do it by the pattern repeat?
Yeah.
I'm actually doing it by the pattern repeat, which is a 70 centimetre pattern repeat. Because it just makes sense. Just makes sense. Because we've been stung with Sue Penn stuff before. We've merrily chopped it up and then looked and gone, oh.
Yeah.
So 70 centimetre repeat on this. But again, I haven't even got a full bolt. So if you want it, you're going to have to be quick. I think that's $11.99 for that 70 centimetre repeat. Bit gorgeous,
guessing
isn't
there's
it?
going to be none of this left by the time I finish my show for me to buy.
We'll have a look. We'll have a look. Depends how fast you're stitched, isn't it?
I know. I'll be quick.
Yeah, that was the quickest show. Oh, actually, do you know what?
They do go. I was just thinking that. Look.
Oh,
suit you, sir.
Bingo! Because then you can
Yeah.
cut out the panels, and then you could get yourself some of the black.
Yeah,
That's
and do
available
blocks
by
round
the half
outside.
metre. So black, and then sash in.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't be wrong.
Or like I said, little log cabins out of those, but round that with the centre panel. And little mini log cabins in the bright colours with black
And you
sashing.
can get, we've got the little mini, we've got like the 4-inch log cabin rulers. Hang on. Buy 2 creative grids, get a third half price with the code CG third half price. There you go. So if you get yourself one of the little 4-inch creative grids. Do you want to pass that to me? This is what, like some places.
This is how you have to work, you know. I'm just
going to hold that up. It's not quite like at the boxing, is it? Where you get like it's not that, is it?
You're so tall that nobody would see the code if you did that.
Oh yeah. Just put there. We're all mod cons here, let me tell you. We've got bolts galore. I like to think that we're wombling. You know, we're just recycling.
Yeah. Well, yeah, reuse it.
I have so many of these stacked on my desk with show ideas because I'll be cutting fabric and be like, oh, I could do that with that, and write it down in a bolt. Look, can you see on the end of my desk?
I can't. I just nicked some ideas.
No, get off, get off, get off. I'm going to roll down my roll top so you can't see it.
Is that what you do when you get guests? You just roll down the top and hide
Then they
everything?
can't see the mess. But actually,
Genius.
the mess is now up just a little bit up above the roll top height. So, yeah. Right. Yeah. So Lucy says that her secret is safe with us. Morning, Sue. She says, I'm machine embroidering Easter bunnies to hold a small egg.
Oh, I love machine embroidery.
I've also got some little felt like sort of tiny rabbit binding that's going to go up on the web today. Just saying. Now, oops. I have got 3 ombres from Lewis and Irene. These went with all of the little polar bears and stuff like that. And I've got a squiddly bit left of them. But they're not as big as yours.
No, mine are extra wide. You could still do something with those.
You could do something.
With that pattern, it just wouldn't be so
big.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that colour.
I love the purple and blue.
It's Northern Lights, which is very apt because you can actually see them in Scotland at the minute. Apparently.
I saw them in Norway years ago. They were green when I saw them, but it was very exciting.
So, I mean, you might
you
might just want to back a quilt with it.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love an ombre because I love the you can make something with the one fabric, which is what we're doing later today.
Yeah.
It's just one fabric, but the variations you can play around with so much.
I have lots of ideas, and it's one of those things that I've got so many ideas for these fabrics, but I don't think I've got enough left to do a full show with just like partial bolts. So they're on the website.
That's
today.
what we have to think about as designers, isn't it?
Yeah,
Is it,
like,
you know,
I've got this fabric. It's really beautiful, but is there enough for everybody?
Yeah.
Possibly not. Right, I'm going to get out your way. That there, Sarah Payne.
Are you? You're going to leave me on my own? Is that safe?
Well, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be just there. So don't you worry.
Hang on, I'll move that way.
I'll go this way. I'm going to duck under, come round, and we're all good. Over to you, that there, Sarah Payne. Good morning.
Well, hello, everybody. And thank you very much, Natasha, for having me.
Oh, it's always a pleasure.
And for being patient, because obviously I was supposed to be in on Friday.
That's right.
But there was no voice at all on Friday.
We always have a standby show. We just don't know, do you? You know,
Well,
in these weird, wonderful times, you just don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I did manage to give you plenty of notice that it might not happen.
No, and that's fine.
But yeah, so what I brought with you today, because as soon as I saw this fabric, there were a couple of patterns that I wanted to make immediately.
If not sooner.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, you know, you just see something, and often we buy from card, don't we? And
Yeah.
we see the pictures and we think, oh, that looks great. But once it actually arrives, that's it.
It's a different story, isn't it? And I don't know how your design process works, but I've got to get my hands on that fabric.
Yes, yeah. I kind of know roughly what I'm going to do, but it's only once the fabric actually is in my hands that I really make a decision about it, because even though we know what the scale is like on paper, it's not until you see it
that
you appreciate.
You can't always get the colour. But
No.
now you've got all the colour.
Yes, I have brought all the colour
Now,
to the
if
party.
you want to get the kit and the pattern, then there's a little £5 discount on that.
There is, if you get them together, because personally I think to make this work you really need this fabric. You can buy the pattern separately if you wish, but you really need that. So I have brought this gorgeous variegated ombre extra wide, so we go from the pink all the way through the orange to the yellow.
Is this a 108?
Into the green. Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it is extra wide, which makes the quilt behind me, you know, it's an afternoon's work making that quilt.
Oh,
you know,
or a morning.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, or a morning. So, but also what I decided to put in the bundle as well is we're using, you can see there's black on there as well for the pattern, because I really wanted to make this quilt for ages and I've been looking for the right one. I wanted to do a big log cabin, but I wanted to add a little extra element into it, which is what I've done there with the black.
I love that, and it just
I'm a big fan of a black binding too, because I think it looks like a picture frame.
Yes.
Makes me think of a picture frame when, you know, if you're a card maker and you do all your mat and layering and you put those frames, it suddenly takes it and lifts it. And that's what, because I nearly did an ombre binding for it, and when I laid it out, you know, with the design, you sort of do this, don't you? You go, right, okay, there's the finished quilt. What does it look like if I do that? And what does it look like if I do this and this? And I decided that the black had to be there. But I've also included in that the backing.
amazing.
So, because this is absolutely perfect. In fact, if I just lift up the quilt behind me a little bit so you can see.
Yes.
Okay, so the fabric bundle has the fabric for the front, it has the binding, and it has the backing. You can add whatever wadding you like. I know that a lot of people like to choose their own wadding, or you've probably got big pieces of wadding at home. This is about a metre. I think it's 96 centimetres or something like that. So you'll need just over a metre of wadding to make it. But yeah, so that's what we've got in the bundle, and it is super simple. But again, when I saw this, and I love this fabric, and I hadn't noticed until again I got it in front of me. When you look at it at an angle, you won't be able to see with the camera, but when you look at it at a slight angle, because of the way the dots are printed, it really starts to optical illusion. It starts to dome, but I mean, it's absolutely perfect with that front, isn't it? So you'll get enough for the backing for that as well.
So it's only the wadding, and I think that's the thing, isn't it? That's just personal choice.
Definitely, because some people like to use cotton, or I use 80-20 a lot.
Yes.
You might have, you know, if you're making this for a child play mat, you might want to use a polyester. For you know, then you can really put it through the boil wash if required. And I've been playing lately with a new wadding, which is a bamboo and cotton.
Nice.
50% bamboo, 50% cotton.
Oh,
and
nice.
it is lush. So, but it's up to you, you know, and as I said, just over a metre.
Bamboo, because I like bamboo because it's so lovely and warm, and also it's economically and environmentally.
Yes, because
brilliant.
bamboo grows so fast.
Yeah.
It's renewable, and it's on a par with the price of cotton.
Yes.
So if you have a cotton and a bamboo blend, you're mid-range. You're not going up to like wool.
Yeah.
And you're not going down to sort of polyester.
No,
you sit nicely in the middle.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So, and I love the drape of cotton. So I must admit, usually my wadding of choice is a polyester and cotton blend, because it's cheaper. It's cheaper than 100% cotton, and it's got that little less shrinkage. Right, so what I'm going to do is, let's make a start. I'm going to fold this, because obviously this is extra wide, and we're going to be cutting strips.
So do you press it first?
Yes, I have given this. I did give this a
yeah.
press earlier. It's all creased again, but I did actually give it a press. But we have to kind of fold it because it's quite big. So when you are folding fabric to cut strips, you want to make sure that your folds are all really straight. So when you're cutting, this is going to keep straight. Otherwise, if this is slightly on the wonk like that, when you open it up, you'll have a kink in your strip. So what I'm doing there is I'm just getting all of those, and I'm going to put them once more, because with the extra wides, they are slightly too big to fit on a cutting mat.
Right, okay.
So I'm just smoothing that out. So we're actually going to be cutting 8 layers.
Okay.
You can do just the 4 if you want. In fact, I probably will do that because that's what most people will do. So we just have to make sure those 2 are done there. I'm going to straighten off with with your massive ruler.
Massive!
So
on a smaller one, there's a smaller one underneath. Probably somewhere.
there's a smaller one in my car, but this will be fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm making sure along the bottom that my folds are matched up here very nicely, and I'm going to trim off the side. So, and because this is wider than my mat, it means I have to slide it to just trim off the extra. So now I'm going to use this edge, which I know is straight. And there we go. Actually, there's something just under there.
Oh, under the mat. Oh. Oh, there it is. There's me bodkin. We're looking for that.
I was just like, oh, we've just gone, but that's because the mat's not flat. That's actually a good example of why you have to make sure that your mat is on a flat surface.
And not on a bodkin.
And not on a bodkin.
Yeah, sod Sarah.
That's all right. You're doing this to test me, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's like, let's see if Sarah really is still alive.
When you've had COVID, what you really want is some idiot friend testing you. I know this.
We were talking earlier, weren't we? I was saying, I've been asked questions this week that I know the answer to in my sleep, and yet I can't find the words, I don't know the answer, or then I forget the question.
Yeah.
So there we go. So I'm going to cut my log cabin strips. I'm just going to cut 2. You will need, I think it's 6 in total.
Right.
But we'll just do 2 because I want to show you basically how the whole thing works.
Right.
Right, so there's 1 strip. And then here's my second strip. This pattern is so super simple. So, if you've not made a quilt before, this is the perfect introduction.
Oh, brilliant.
Because we've not got, it's repetition. Once we've done our first bit,
yeah,
it's all repetition. And we talk about, you do need to use a 1/4 inch seam allowance, but if you're not hugely accurate, it's fine, because we're not going to be matching up points.
No, that's the thing.
We haven't got any bits of triangles to worry about, so it's really quite simple.
Log cabins was where I started.
Log cabin is a great place to start, because all you need to be concerned about is whether your square stays square.
Yeah.
All right. And when you are working with wider strips, you've got more play. If you ever notice, if you look at something and they're very close together, you really notice any sort of wobble between them, whereas when they're further apart, because you've got no frame of reference between the two, you don't tend to notice the wobble quite so much. So we can even have a little wobble and nobody will know.
Oh,
right.
Have a little wobble.
You can have a little wobble. Right, so now I'm going to cut some of the black. So this black is for the little corner squares, or the little corner triangles, I should say, and the binding. So I think it's 4 pieces you need for the binding. I think it just does it, but you can cut a 5th if you need to.
Cool.
So right, so straightened off there. I'm just going to cut 1 strip because we're not going to make the whole quilt. Not this morning.
Any other morning,
yeah,
potentially.
That was it.
No.
I said to you, didn't I? At least it's nice, and it's a nice simple thing for me to think about this morning. And then I need a little square with the world's biggest ruler. Hang on, I need a 3-inch square.
Do you want a small? I've got lots of smaller ones around.
That's all right. I'm only just doing the one off the corner. Right, so this is our centre piece. Because the log cabin is a traditional pattern, and it's based on the way that a slats would go on a log cabin. It sort of started off in American pioneer days, and this would represent the hearth and the centre of the home. So generally, traditionally, they would be red.
The middle bits,
Yeah, the middle bit, but my fire is none.
It's cold.
That's
it's
it,
a cold
yes.
fire. We
Yeah.
haven't lit it yet.
Exactly.
It's fine. It's all fine.
I have a wood burning stove at home, and it's that
and it looks
colour.
that colour.
It's
There you
exactly,
go. There you
we
go. You have just reflected your own environment. I don't think that anyone can complain about that.
Right. So actually, do you have a slightly smaller ruler? Just
What size do you want?
Well, if you've got a 4.5 inch, we were talking earlier about the 4.5 inch. That'll do. 6.5. Thank you. Right. So then we need some squares. So folded this over, so I'm actually cutting 4 at a time.
Nice.
So you can sit and do a load of cutting and then work your way through it. Or you can use your stripology ruler, obviously. Which you have got one there. I could have used that, couldn't I? But that would be a lot quicker. I think you need, I want to say 28 in total, but we don't need that many quite now. Right, so where do I throw my scraps?
In the black box behind you. In the shelving.
Oh, in that, yes, you did show me that earlier.
There you go.
I was paying attention.
Yeah.
And then, as I said, I forgot.
Well, I think that's going to be the running theme for today, and possibly me.
So what we're going to do is going to take one of these. Now, once you get going, we will actually be sewing them together end to end.
Right.
All right. Which means you take the same colour and you sew them. Because then that means the ombre continues.
Oh, nice.
All the way through. And actually, if you look at the quilt behind me...
do you know what I'm looking at now? Looking like where
I'm just trying to...
You can't see it either, can you?
I know it's there. There.
I made the
There's
quilt.
one.
I know it's there.
Yeah.
Where? You can't
just
see
in
that.
there's a little...
You can't see it.
But because we're doing it that way, it means we don't get the... If you sewed the purple to the yellow and you're halfway through a strip and you've sewn the wrong ends together, it would jump out at you.
Yeah,
it would completely lose the effect. But a lot of these, when I come round to, I think purple's the end, like I think that there's a little... There's one there as well, just because I missed a couple of inches off the end. But the other ones, if I get to the point where, you know, I came down here and there was about that much left. Yeah. I just put that in my scrap box. Yeah. So, but I wasn't going to waste this bit for the sake of 1.5 inches. No. What was it? My dad used to say, don't sink the ship for a ha'porth of tar.
He's right.
He's very right.
He's right.
So we're not going to do that quite yet because we don't need that much at this point. But what we're going to do is I'm going to take my... What did I do last time? I started with the pink. I'm going to do purple. I'm going to do the other way round.
Can I just point out to people, I just need to check with Gemma. Gemma, is our ½ metre fabric still up? Yeah.
I'm just going to grab some...
We did have, when you spent over £50, a code that you could add in to get a free mystery ½ metre of designer fabric, which is possibly still running, but I'm not sure whether or not we had to take that down because of the Creative Grids code. So both codes won't work at the same time, so you have to pick which one you want to use.
So yeah, so people can choose. If they don't want to get the Creative Grids ruler, they can
get a ½ metre of designer fabric. And we've sort of tried to match when we've looked at your order, because we're small enough to be able to do this. We've looked at your order and gone, oh,
this would work.
Yeah, and give them sort of a colour that's going to play into that.
Good thinking, good thinking. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to cut my first piece. Now this is all the measurements and everything are in the pattern. But I'm going to start with the purple in the middle this time. I'm going to take my 2 pieces and I'm going to put them right sides together.
Huh?
And
it is still active. Do we have a sorry? Do we have a code for it?
Yeah, 3.5 meters.
Oh, is it 3.5 meter, or do they just add it in?
So they have to add the
Or
product,
you add the product in,
and then they still have to put 3.5 meters.
and then
discount.
3.5 meter free discount code. There you go. Sorry, Sarah.
that's okay. What have they got to do?
So okay, there we go. So if you spend over £50 and you want a free 1/2 meter of fabric, then you add it to your basket, and then you say, so the mystery 1/2 meter
There you go.
fabric.
And then you'll get
you
an extra.
add it to your bundle, and then you use the code free 1/2 meter.
So if they buy my kit and then something else
A
for
little
like
squiddly something.
£5, they
Yeah.
can get an extra half. Oh,
Yeah.
bargain.
Yeah, yeah, all of that.
I'm going to sit in my car when I finish this. And I'll get on my phone. Collection. Save on postage.
Click and collect. Absolutely.
Right, so I've got, as I said, you will get a pattern. And this is the pattern here. Quick look, this is my printed out copy. Yours will look lots fancier. But I do like a picture.
Yes.
I'm a very visual learner. I do like to make sure you've got lots and lots of pictures to help you out alongside the words. So that's the pattern you're going to get.
Nice.
Alrighty, so right sides together, go to the sewing machine. When I say in my head, I go to the sewing machine. In my head, I go, to the Batmobile! Probably shouldn't have shared that, should I? 'Cause
Well,
now
no,
every
I mean,
time
that does make sense.
every time you see me, you're going to know that I'm doing that in my head. So, to the Batmobile!
But then also, when we press to the dark side, I
Yeah.
have to say it in a...
Yes. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. So I don't think... Oh, so, yeah, that foot pedaller's program.
I did actually test this before and it was fine. So I did have a little practice. So 1/4 inch seam allowance, just there. And I'm going to come back to my ironing mat. I should actually tidy up a bit, shouldn't I? That would make life a bit easier.
Why?
Put those down there. And we're going to press to the dark side, which in this case
Side.
is the black fabric. Now, the way I always press, and the way I was taught to press, is you press from the top. All right, so that sets our seam. I don't know if you can't quite see that. Let's move that over a little bit. I don't want to put the iron on your mat.
You can move the mat.
Could do, couldn't I? That would help. See, I did tell you.
Yeah.
I have bought my brain or my A game. They're both in the car. Right, so press that flat. Now, I want this seam to sit underneath the black. So what we do is we lift up the dark fabric, put the iron, and then just use the weight of the iron to press, and that will push the seam automatically under whatever you're holding up. So whichever way you want to do it, there you can.
Perfect. Oh, Elizabeth says, hi Sarah, 'tis me that was watching at the weekend with the triangle-y thingy-bob.
Sorry, who was that?
It's Elizabeth.
Oh,
The triangle-y thingy-bob. Sarah's here, Marilyn's here, Jane's here, Julia's here, Sue's here, and Christine is also here. Good morning. And
Good
Laverne,
morning.
And Anne, and Linda, and another Linda, and Yvonne, and another Linda, and Cheryl.
good morning, everybody, because
There
some
you
of those, we do share a lot of people.
We do share people. We like
do
to share
share
people.
people.
Sue says sitting back and enjoying a bit of EPP whilst watching you, plus a large cup of coffee. Sue, we're back your way this afternoon.
I've been doing a bit of EPP because I did a demo for Vaseline on Saturday.
Oh, nice.
That was when people asked me questions and I could have forgotten my name, really. What's also great about this pattern is we don't actually have to measure very much now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my my 2 centerpieces and I'm going to just lay them on the top there, and then we can cut when we're finished. So we're going to go to the sewing machine.
My question is, what were you using from Finalizing that you were EPPing?
Quick screen triangle. Yeah, I love it because you can leave it in.
Yes.
And it means I don't have to wad. So if I'm doing something like placemats that I don't want to be too poofy, and I was showing how you can cut your hexagon, your large hexagon out, and then you can design your own EP by just cutting into it. Nice. So you can, I love it. I love it. Quick screen triangle, genius stuff.
I think we've got some, and I keep looking at it going, must do a show with that.
Yeah,
Must do a show with that.
I've used it for foundation piecing, triangles, because you've got obviously 60-degree triangles. It's genius. I keep clicking backwards. Oh, it is fast, that one, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yes, I use it for foundation piecing when I'm doing anything triangle. A triangle or a log cabin. Done that before, and that is awesome with it. As you see, we just push that back now, and I can trim off the edge.
Yay.
Just square it up. So no complicated maths. I'm just going to give that a quick press. Now when I'm doing this, I press to the solid side, okay, to the solid strip. We shouldn't have a problem with colours, with anything showing through, but it just means that you don't end up with quite so much bulk because you've not got that seam there doubled over.
What I'm going to do, I'm just going to move that over so that when you're pressing,
sorry,
everyone can see. That's right.
Right, so I have, we have done, started here, round. So the next piece, I always find the first bit of my log cabin I need to concentrate on.
Yeah.
Because once you've done a round,
then
basically,
you just keep going.
You just keep going. And actually, whenever you're trying to work out on a log cabin, which is your next strip, you're always sewing on the point where you've got two seams.
Yes.
So this strip is going to go there because there's two seams. It wouldn't go here because there's only one seam, but there's two.
It took me a while to figure that out, and it's always something that I pass on to people, because
Yes, me too.
if you haven't done lots of log cabins, then that, you know, it could be a thing that can throw you. John J. Cole Morgan is with us this morning. Says,
hello, Trouble.
Ladies. Morning. He is troubling him. We love him, bless him. Emma's here, Jeanette's here. Good morning. Julia says, it's lovely watching you. And Amanda, just pop us a little email. She couldn't find her free half meter, so she's bought it anyway. And can she have it added? Yes, just email info@natashamakes.com and they will make it so.
Make it so.
They
See,
are
Star
good like
Trek.
that. They will make it so.
Make it so. Engage.
I forget I'm working with a Trekkie. Huh?
With a geek.
Oh, it's all right. Gemma's already done it. Amanda, she's already done it. She's on it this morning, is Gemma.
She is on it.
Yeah.
Gemma Law.
I said something the other morning about being on it, and Freddie went, like a car bonnet. Sorry, you're 8. This is disturbing.
You see, when you said that, I thought that in my head, but I thought I can't say that because, you know, we're on.
No, that's the boy. On it like a car bonnet. Yeah. Morning, Ali. How you doing? Oh, Alison's just had a half meter heaven drop through her letterbox.
Oh, nice.
And John says, what free half meter? Say what now? Yeah, John.
Yeah, you have to buy one of my, John, you have to buy one of my kits to get it.
And a little something else. John says he's still in his bed. Daylight saving kicked in, so no clock. Do you know what? Sarah, I'm not going to lie. I didn't even realise the clocks had changed.
I had to get up at 4:30 yesterday morning, so I did because it was technically 3:30 because I had an 8 a.m. show at Create and Craft. So I was not pleased that the clocks had gone back.
Bring forward, leap back.
So
I had no idea.
But you see, most things update now automatically. If
you spin that foot pedal round, then you won't keep going on the back end of it, and
going click click.
Yeah, and cutting your thread every time. Pauline says, good morning, ladies. What a way to spend my birthday. Retired today.
Oh,
yay! Watching my 2 favourite ladies.
Who was that?
That is Pauline.
Ah, congratulations, Pauline.
Tyrrell, like the crisps.
Yep.
Yep. So good morning to you. John says, try stop me. We're not going to stop you doing anything. And
my
Jenny's
Deborah
first
retired.
plane. Oh, did she?
My Deborah's retired on Thursday, so yeah. But this summer adventure, quilty goodies, and adventure awaits.
She's not old enough to be able to retire.
She doesn't, does she?
No.
It's really annoying.
You sure? You sure you've got that right? You sure you got the right
she's
person?
15 years older than me, and I'm old. Actually, I think she's 4. She might not be, but anyway, she has retired. She's probably watching and going, you're telling people how old I am.
No. She just said that you're retiring.
Yes.
And yeah, so Jenny says her first Payne subscription has just arrived. We're going to get those out a bit quicker next month, by the way. We just didn't know how many to buy because we didn't know how many of you wanted it. That was the situation with that. So we're already starting to cut the next Payne subscriptions because now you've subscribed, we know, and we can cut and we can do that. And you see, we've got Karen who is on it, and she's making a colour chart to keep for future purchases, so that she's got her own little, because we stock nearly 100
Do you?
of the planes, yeah.
Wow.
As standard. And they're the ones that go out with the half-metre heavens and that you can buy cut to order. But of course, if you don't know the proper colour, because let's face it, photographing it is a pain.
It is, and then when you print it out, it's never quite right either. I have a few, but I've probably got about 6 that I use all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of white on white. I use white on white a lot.
Yeah. Do you know what Liberty are bringing out a new white on white? Did you know?
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh dear, that way madness lies. Right.
Or no bank balance.
I just think, oh well, it's a business expense.
Yeah.
So what we've got now is we've got our first round. Okay, so we started with the purple. One thing to pay attention to is as you are going round, make sure that you're sewing sort of to the same end, not over there, because you see the jump in colour would be too much. It should go there like that when we do the next one. But before that, we want to do our little squares, and this is just very cheaty.
I like cheaty.
I'm a big believer in make it simple. So I'm just drawing a diagonal line. You probably can't see that. Have you got a marker that's a bit lighter?
Oh, that there, Sarah Payne. Yes, I probably have, you know.
I have. It's in my green box, but thank you very much.
The one I threw all over
the
the
floor.
floor.
You threw on the floor and emptied everything out.
Yeah. I'm really helpful.
She said, I'm just going to move this box. I went, because it was open and everything went everywhere.
Yeah.
Right, so thank you very much.
That's right.
Right, so I'm just drawing a diagonal line across each of these.
Oh, Sylva's nearly an hour late for a pub lunch with a friend. I didn't realise.
I was going to say, where is she?
Because I didn't know, because my phone just updated and I don't wear a watch because
I see. Yesterday she was an hour late, not this morning. I was thinking, where are you that you're an hour late for a pub lunch?
I don't know. I was thinking, no. So yeah.
Pins.
Heidi's trying hard.
These blue ones?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think the other ones are all bundled up, ready to go to...
They're sharp.
They're really sharp, yeah.
Which is good, what we want. So what we're going to do is place that corner in the corner, like this, with the diagonal line running across. I am always for the easy option, you know, when it comes to projects. I like things to look complicated, but be easy to do. So you could get yourself a half square triangle ruler and cut little half square triangles if you want to, but I think this is just as easy.
Heidi says that she's trying hard not to spend money, but it's killing her. It's a tricky one. So Jenny, next month you are getting the earthy reds, which go with sort of neutrals into the earthy reds that go with all the William Morris that we've just had in. I know.
I've had so much fun with William Morris.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just an absolute
girl.
delight. Yeah.
Sarah and Will.
Yeah, me and Will.
You and Will. Amazing.
I tell you what, one of my suppliers now has a completely different image of me after sitting with me and John Jay.
Yeah.
At Stitches.
Yeah.
Listening to John talk about me.
Yeah.
He rang me afterwards, my supplier, and went, your friend, he can't keep a secret, can he?
No, he can't. No.
I said, nope, because he was trying to fix me up with anyone.
Oh, yeah.
Dear, oh dear. So if we tell him I'm going out with William Morris. So what we're going to do now is we're going to...
lots of love life advice. It's great. He's our own personal agony aunt.
That's it, yes.
Sorry, back to the make.
Yeah, before my brain completely goes to sleep. We're going to sew across on this diagonal line. Okay, so the line you've drawn, we are going to stitch across.
Perfect.
So,
Oh, I'll get the right screen in a minute. No, come on, that one. See, by the time that I get there, you've done it. Oh, Jenny's trying to do her own little subscription thingamajiggy as well. Oh, and somebody asked if they haven't. Oh, it's Alison. She says, if you haven't started the subscription plans, can you still join? You can, Alison, but because of the way our subscription system is set up, you can only join on the day that we do the subscription show. So that will be, Gemma, is that the 4th? Which is the 4th of next month.
the thing is, I do subscriptions, and it's the trickiest thing is the software.
Yeah, because nothing is quite set up for it. And
yeah.
Those people that have done this month's subscription, we thought we tested the system because we're using a new one in every single way, and of course there was still a little gremlin, so thank you for everyone. Actually, do you know, the really nice thing was one of our lovely ladies emailed back going, oh, I never thought to check because I just know that you'll sort it all out.
Yeah, well, I do a thing now with my subscription. It's over a year, so if people have joined in February, they could, or March even, they could sign up, and then I just do a little bill for the months they've missed, because we can, you know, like you say, you can sort it out, but the software won't let me backdate a subscription.
No, we've got to manually change it, and there's all sorts of stuff.
I feel your pain, darling.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to trim.
It's not my pain, it's SJ's. I just hand it over to poor SJ.
So I'm now trimming to 1/4 inch. You could, of course, save these little bits.
Obviously.
And what you could do as well is, if you want to, I'll do it on this one. Actually, we'll go back to the sewing machine. And if I stitch that triangle again, so here you go, you've got parallel like little tram lines. If I'd drawn 2 sets of lines, what you can do is you've now got a teeny half square triangle that you could just put in your stash. Can we come?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was just reading. Helen started a message, and then we only got half of it. She said, "Morning, ladies, running late. Steve's fault. He left me in bed."
So what I did was I sewed. You could draw a second line. I'll do it again. Your seam allowance would be a bit small, but you could draw a second line, sew along it, cut up between the two, and then there you've got straight away a little half square triangle that you can put in your stash. Once they'll have 4 of these, you can put 4 of them together and make a teeny tiny pinwheel.
Yay!
So you're not wasting these bits.
Never.
Okay, if that's a concern.
Margaret says there was a William Morris in her class at school. No!
Oh, bless, poor kid.
I think that we have just scarred someone for life somewhere.
Right, so now I'm just going to press the triangles out.
Claire says, can the rainbow log cabin be done without the black triangles? Yes.
Yes, it can.
Don't put in the black triangles.
Yeah, just do it with the rainbow fabric. I just thought it added a nice extra element, and I really like the way the black makes everything pop, because the other thought that I had, what we could have done is do a very narrow black border around each set of the log cabin around the outside, but because I mean that's a very nice block on its own. That's like a log cabin cross snowball,
isn't it? Yeah.
You could do a whole quilt of those if you wanted to. So what I am going to do is I've got a little bit hanging off just on this corner here. You can see I've got nice straight, but there's a little extra hanging off here, and I'm actually just going to trim that off. I'm just going to trim it square, and it's a good idea as you're going round just to make sure that everything is staying square and true. So now we come back to our colour, which was blue.
Other end.
Yeah.
Other end.
Because we're going to be sewing across here where we've got the 2 seams, but it's also, I want it to come, it needs to go there so that we've got that blue grading still. If I went down a different way, you can see it really doesn't work, and if I went for the other end, it doesn't even work there. But it's not this purple we're matching, it's this one.
And the thing is, just to bear in mind as well, you can see the double seams on that one, so
Yes.
you know that's the side that you've got to add to. So you've got that as a second
Have.
one.
You've
Geraldine
got that
says,
Aide Memoir.
this is very clever, Sarah, says Geraldine.
Thank you.
Oh, Karen says there was a Robert Redford in her class.
A what?
Why a Robert Redford?
Oh.
Why would you do that? Yeah, but did they? I mean, you know...
How long ago was that?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the
if
thing,
it was,
isn't it?
If it was like 5 years ago, then you could understand it being a bit odd. But
Elizabeth
you know,
said that Robert Redford was her pin-up. I mean, yeah, you would, wouldn't you?
well, yeah, those eyes.
Yeah. Oh, John, how is your husband still positive? I don't think
yes,
he
he's
means
still-
as in, he's not positive as in a good mood. Positive
No,
as in
he's
like
got
testing
he's got
positive.
the old vid.
Yeah. Shelley says, thank you, ladies, for cheering my day as I tested positive for COVID on Saturday, and I can understand the lack of concentration. I mean, I just wish I had that as an excuse.
I was wondering how long I can get away with it.
But you've reminded me of baby brain, so I'm just going to use that. I'm just going to
I
use
have to
that.
say it's quite surprised me because I'm normally on it, and I'm really not right now. I had a call earlier and you were here with one of my suppliers, and he said, "Have you read my email from last week?" And I thought, I did, but I can't for the life of me remember what you said.
Yeah, but no, but
Yeah, but I'm aware there was an email. I'll tell you what I did do. I ordered, I was talking to Deborah the other day, and I'm obsessed with dolls' houses. And there's a few TV shows on now about doing miniatures with dolls' houses. There's an American series on Netflix I've been watching.
Oh,
and
right.
There's one that started last night with Sandy Toksvig
oh right, yeah,
about
yeah.
making miniatures.
Are you going to do a miniature quilt?
Well, I have done miniature quilts. I did one for the Festival of Quilts years ago for my doll's
you?
house. I have a Tudor doll's house, which is kind of finished, but it's not of my new house yet. But so I'd gone online and I ordered some, when I was doing my COVID brain, some teeny tiny doll's house boots. They're about that big and they're amazing. And when they arrived, I was talking to Deborah and I was like, "Oh, they arrived." I said, "It could have been worse. They could have been actual shoes." And then I went, "Oh, I think I bought shoes." And she went, "Where from?" And I went, "No idea." She said, "How much?" "No idea." And I got an email on yesterday going, "Your shoes are on their way." And I was like, "Oh no, I bought more shoes."
This is never a bad thing.
It is, but I had no recollection really
Well, it'd be a
beyond.
nice surprise. If it's any consolation, shopping for shoes once saved my life.
It did, didn't it?
Yeah, I've told you the story.
Yeah,
before,
yeah,
haven't
yeah.
I?
Because it was near me.
And if I no, different time.
Oh, was it?
So yeah, so for me, I was in London on one of the days that there was an explosion in the tube, and I was right by it. And had I not stopped by 2 pairs of shoes, I would have been in the tube.
We have talked about this because I was supposed to be on that tube that day.
Yes.
I was a software trainer at the
Yes,
time. I was supposed to
yes.
be. I was supposed to be. I was Aldgate Station. I was getting off at Aldgate Station, I think it was, and I was supposed to be training a company, and they rang me the day before and cancelled, and I was really annoyed. And
weren't
then
the next day.
I would
Yeah.
have been. I would have been there at
I mean,
that time.
Karen says, "How can buying shoes ever be wrong?" Quite right.
I perfectly agree. What concerns me is not that I bought shoes, because if you know me, you know I have quite a few pairs. In fact, I'm wearing purpley sparkle
Well,
ones.
that's what
Purpley
Geraldine
sparkle.
wants to know.
Sparkly
but
purple
I don't know
ones.
if you can get your foot up on the... Oh, okay, yeah, you could take your shoe off.
I could
was wondering whether or not you could contort yourself.
It's
but-
probably best not, but
Oh, hang on, let's put it on a close-up. By the machine, please, so that everyone can see your sparkly, sparkly shoes. There they are.
so people say to me, "Why do you wear them when nobody can see them?" Because
know.
I'm behind here, and even when I'm doing a Facebook Live on my own and I'm sitting there at my desk, I know I've got them on.
There's something about it, isn't there? It's just
makes
you
me
know.
feel-
Yeah.
Yeah.
John J would like to know, if I bought 3 of these kits, could I just do a giant one?
Yes.
There you go.
Yes, you can.
And he says, would it work? Yes, John, of course it would.
Just keep going. Just keep going.
And the other thing to bear in mind, John, is that then you get your free ½ metre of fabric.
You'll need to piece the backing together, obviously.
Yes. Silk thread, we had a Barry White in my class at college. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I can do that right now.
Well, that film, says Elizabeth, where Robert Redford offered $1 million to sleep with a man's wife. I said to John, he wouldn't need to ask me twice. He called me a floozy. How rude. How very rude.
I was going to say, I'd do it for free. Robert
You wouldn't need
lovely.
a pension plan, would you?
Well, yes. So, and then we just keep adding. So now again, we're looking at this and we're going, right, okay, well, I've got 2 seams here. So I obviously need to let go along this side. I need to make sure that this colour runs that way.
Yeah.
Put them right sides together. Now,
So just these little checks.
Yes. When I'm doing a log cabin, a lot of patterns, they'll say you need to cut one this size, then this size, then this size. I never do that.
Just keep
I
going.
cut a strip and I just keep going because otherwise it gets complicated. You're sitting there going, how big? Also, if your seam allowance isn't perfect and your block ends up either slightly bigger or slightly smaller, if it's slightly bigger, your strip won't be long enough. If your seam allowance is slightly big, your strip will be too short, too long.
Karen says fabulous
One of
shoes.
the ways.
Yeah, we know. We understand. Karen says fabulous shoes. John says Andrew would kill me, but it's the reward for teaching myself how to use the coffee machine and nursing him through COVID as well.
Well, yes, I was going to say, let's get it right.
John said, would there be enough backing though? Yes, but you'd need to.
Yeah, you'll have 3 meters by it's 104 inches. Sorry, no, it's not. It's 54 inches. So
John, it's us. Did you bring the fabric for us to cut?
yes.
And we'll just cut it in a continuous length. Then.
Yeah.
There you go. John, it'll be fine. Worry thee not about it. We will sort it out.
That's the thing. That's why I love being a small business and dealing with small businesses, because you can ring them up and go, you know what, can we just do it this way? And usually the answer is yes.
Yes. Yes. There's no computer says no, because
Unless it's a subscription, in which case
the computer says all sorts of
the
things.
computer has a little lie down.
Yeah. Possibly us with it is the other thing. Well, this is looking rather fabulous. I'm enjoying this.
See how it grows so quickly, and we're really barely concentrating. That's probably a bad move. So what I'm doing now is I'm just
Well, just jinx that one. Go on, Sarah.
whatevs. So I'm making sure that this is staying nice and straight. We're using the line on my ruler, and this is staying nice and straight at this edge. And just keep trimming as we go. I've got a little extra hanging over the edge there, so I'm going to take that off too.
Yeah, you can just have a little trim back, can't you? Guys, are you all using the buy two get a creative grid half price? Are you all making sure you're having a look at that? Wendy wants to know, could you supersize it and cut wider logs?
Yeah, of course you can.
I mean, what size you chop your logs to is up to you, right?
Yes, the pattern has a measurement in it, but you can do what you like.
Would you
do
then
more or less.
upsize the size of your little nibbly bits on the
I
end?
probably would. Yeah, because basically these are an inch smaller.
So just upsize.
Yeah, so you could, this is an inch smaller than here, so when you put it together you've got like an inch gap, but you could actually take this square here and make it bigger so it comes right in and give it a different look. But I just wanted to
Controversial.
nibble a bit of the corner out.
You did nibble a bit to the corner. I like it.
I did nibble a bit. I'll put this in my fold.
Donna says, good morning, ladies. Sorry I'm late. Dance class again. That's right.
Oh,
Love the
that's
quilt,
very
Sarah.
energetic for a Monday morning.
John says that
Sorry.
we've got too many specials. Please recap them all for the late ones. Right, John and other late ones.
I was going to say, oh, okay, John.
Okay, John. So you can't use them all in one go. But John, I shouldn't be telling you this, should I? John, if you are buying multiple kits, then there's a chance you can use more than one coat if you split your order up. But if you spend over £50, Jonathan, then you can add your free ½ metre of fabric to your bundle and use the code free ½ metre. I think that's the code. Gemma hasn't written it on a bolt middle for me, so I don't know. You put it on your head, that'd be great. And Penn. We also have buy 2 creative grids and get a third half price with the code CG, as in like creative grids. Oh, where's Sarah gone? CG.
Sorry, I'm losing the foot pedal.
Third half price. Oh, hang on. Controversial. Jenny wants to start with a rectangle instead of a square. Would that work?
Yes, it would. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a log cabin is traditionally a square, but you could do this whole section here black. You could even, if you wanted to, called square triangle.
Steady.
Easy. You know these bits.
Oh.
We could. I know you'd have to do the maths a bit, but you could have a pinwheel in the middle.
Amazing.
You could also have. Here's another thing. Make this a half square triangle with black this side and purple there. So then you'd have this sort of shape like that in the centre. How cool would that look? It would start to look a bit like a snail trail, wouldn't it, or a monkey wrench?
Nice.
So, or a little fall patch in the middle. You'd have to plan that a little bit ahead so that your colours are right. But yeah, you can play all sorts of things. And because this as well is an ombre, if you needed to take a little bit of it out, you could just, if you wanted to have a little bit of a different colour in the middle, cut there, sew them back together, and you're barely going to notice.
Oh, so you could have your red in the middle for the half.
Yes.
Yeah. Morning, Tracy.
You just have to decide before you start.
Okay. Oh, that requires organisation. I'm just going to do it how you've done it. It's just easier.
But you see, I think all quilt patterns should be a start for your own creativity. You know,
it's a serving suggestion.
it
like
is,
a
exactly.
recipe, isn't it?
If you want to change it and make it slightly different and make it completely unique to you, then you jolly well should.
Jolly well.
You jolly well
should.
have my permission
Yes,
to
you
muck about with
jolly
it.
well should.
Just if it doesn't quite work out the way you thought it was, don't blame me. So you see, now I've got another 4 edges.
Do it at your peril. Sarah takes no responsibility.
That's it. I take no responsibility for anything.
In life at all.
Exactly.
Forget it.
I get at events, people come up and the husband will say, it's your fault we've never got any money. And I'll be like, it's not my fault. You need to work harder.
I'm sure that goes down really well. I've had that shouted at me across a car park before now.
Have you?
At Sainsbury's. Yeah, that was joyful. I really enjoyed that because obviously nobody else in the car park knew that I was on that there telly.
Yeah.
So just thought I was a right cow bag. And yeah.
Generally, it's positive comments, though. It's people saying, my wife is so much happier, or my husband is so much happier now that somebody sews.
Somebody in our life sews,
Yes.
and that's great.
Yes. I have had some very odd things said to me in the past at events, possibly a few that do not bear repeating on here.
I think it's all part and parcel, isn't it? It's all
It's
good.
the joy of the job.
It is all good.
And even when somebody's not particularly pleasant, what we do is we go home and we tell our friends and we all laugh at them for being mean.
There's the mean club.
Yes. And we sit in places like this, don't we, where
Yeah.
we go, you think that's bad? This is what somebody said to me. And we have little competitions.
It's all joyful.
But generally, people love to sew. And so do we.
Because it's just relaxing, isn't it?
And I mean, if you get in a room full of people who've got the same hobby as you, there's
can
nothing
go
more
on?
joyful, is there?
No. No. And just surround yourself with people that like the same stuff as you. It's all
Yeah. And I mean, we're surrounding ourselves with colour and texture, and that's good for the brain. Releases all those endorphins.
good. Oh, do you know what else is good for the brain?
What's that?
We've got our super wide ombre confetti backing fabrics on a discount today as well. So, John Cole Morgan, you could buy a couple of units of that, and then you'd certainly have enough for your backing. And then you could either use
Use
it
the
or
backing
keep
for something else.
or keep Sarah's
Because
for
the
something
thing
else.
is, I always say this, you know, even with my hampers and everything like that, if you don't if you like the pattern, but you don't like the fabric, and we say that when people came into my shop, they'd be like, I don't like that quilt. What is it you don't like about it? Is it the colour or is it the pattern? Because if it's the pattern you don't like, then just walk away. But if it's the colour you don't like, try and visualise it in a different fabric, because the same quilt will look completely different in a bright like this, and then you take a William Morris, it's going to look like a completely different design. So, you know, once you've got a pattern that you like, you can make it a ton of times in different fabrics and it will look very different. Right, so let's go back to I do like a thread cutter.
Oh, it's joyful.
I have one on the sewing machine at my studio. So, and then I just go, oh, lovely.
I can't imagine life without one now. That sounds ridiculously overprivileged, but it, yeah. See, a lot of you are being super savvy, buying Sarah's kit, having a look at the clearance fabrics or special offer fabrics, getting some of those for £5.99, so you paid your £50 and 98 pence, and then getting a half metre in there for free. I love a savvy shopper.
Oh, I do. I'm exactly
and we all
the same.
salute you. We all salute you.
So I'm glad you guys are liking the pattern anyway. I'm really thrilled. Because I think as a designer, there's always that moment when you make something and you go, I love it, but it's everybody else.
Yeah, and if you're making just for yourself, it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
When you're making for, you know,
for the public, for people out there, and you know, you want people to love it. And it's like I think it's when you buy a new car. You know, when you buy a new car and you get it home and you drive around to your friends to show your friends your new car, and you want them to go, oh, that's lovely. You don't want them to go, what? It's kind of the same thing with my quilts. I suppose your children as well. When you show your friends your children, you don't want them to go, that's an ugly baby.
I mean, to be fair, Emily looked like a cross between Jackie Chan and Michael McIntyre for quite some time. She has grown out of it now, but Stephen did say to me,
every time I saw her, she was screaming at me when she was a baby. So yeah, she did have that, because she had very dark hair, didn't she?
Yeah.
But she had the screwed up face, and all the pictures of me with her as a baby. I'm going, please, why is she crying? And she's just going, wah!
I mean, you know, she still has opinions. It's fine. But Elizabeth
She's so
says,
beautiful.
This is a cracker, Sarah.
Sorry?
Elizabeth says this is a cracker.
Oh, good. I'm so glad you like it. So there we go. I'm just going to trim off any extra little bits hanging over. Now, we're using, for piecing this, bright pink thread.
Yes.
I would suggest when you're doing yours that you use like a neutral. I tend to use a grey colour. Grey would be perfect for this because we've got very lights and very darks. And with the lights, if you have any of your threads showing underneath and you're using a dark thread, so something like that one, you put that on your wadding, that's going to show through. So go for a neutral colour, neutral grey, mid grey would be perfect. So now we're coming
bright pinking because I'm doing that there Anna Maria Horner show over at that there Create and Craft. As soon as we come off air, I'm in the car and I'm gone.
It also helps when we're trying to do things on screen if people can see them. So I'm often sewing, you know, something white with a black thread just so you can see, because if I use white, you can't see what I'm doing.
No.
So we're back to the next round now. We just keep going. So I've got my 2 seams here. We've got the yellow finishing there. You want to make sure that you keep going in the same direction.
Yes.
All right. Now, I tend to go clockwise, but for some reason today I've decided to challenge myself without realising I went anti-clockwise. But the whole thing is anti-clockwise, so it's fine.
Is it like plug holes that go anti-clockwise one side of the equator and clockwise the other side of the...
Yeah, I don't know why it is. I always do them clockwise, and this is the first time I've done one anti-clockwise.
I love that.
But see, I don't need to remember, because what I'm looking at is 2 seams and the last colour on the left.
And you'll just keep going.
So then I will go 2 seams, last colour on the left. Normally I go last colour on the right.
There you go, perfect. And Wendy says, could also shrink the logs and make it into a cushion cover. Yes.
Oh, definitely. Oh, wouldn't that be awesome? A whole sofa just covered. I love a cushion. I love a scatter cushion. And in my new house, my new house is so tiny. I don't have room for a big sofa, but I have a chaise.
Oh, beautiful.
I have a lovely chaise longue which I can then just lie on like I'm the Queen of Sheba.
Well, then surely you just need floor cushions.
Well, I've covered the chaise with cushions.
Amazing. I'm so pleased that your home is finally a proper reflection of you.
You liked my lion.
I loved your lion. Yes.
Yes, I'm just kind of going, you know what, I don't have to get anybody else's opinion. I can be as bonkers with it as I like. And my friend Sarah said to me the other day, she said, I love how bonkers and eccentric. She said, I've always known that about you, that you're bonkers and eccentric, but in a good way. She said, but now I can see it in your house as well.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
it's a proper true reflection. It's all good.
I'm off to Newark on Thursday. So if you're at Newark Antiques Fair on Thursday and you see me, come over and say hello. But I'm going to be looking for bonkers things there because I want to make a lamp.
Oh, nice.
So, and I also need a bookshelf to distress, to stack all my wood in. And I don't want to buy something new.
No.
So I need a bookshelf, a narrow bookshelf. So I'm going to go and hang out Thursday morning at Newark Antiques Fair and see what.
Do you know what? There are so many bargains to be had. Like this piece here, I think that cost me £70 off FaceBay.
Yeah.
And then I just I had it painted and whatnot to do.
That's exactly what I'm going to do. I want to do black with a little bit of gold, and then I can stack all my wood in the porch.
Yeah, Karen says your lounge is gorgeous and the line is fabulous.
Yeah, I never used to post anything like that on my social media, but since I've moved into my cottage, I just feel like it's acceptable. I'm happy to share, because people do tell you, especially when you do the job we do, oh, you're oversharing, and now I don't care. Whatevs. Right. Okay.
Oh,
so
Claire needs the instructions. She said it somehow comes out back to front. I think it's because I'm partly ambidextrous and don't realise I'm doing it.
what's that? Comes that back to front?
I think her log cabins.
It's to do with which way you put them in the machine.
Yeah.
It's whether you put the quilt, the block, facing up, means it will be anti-clockwise. If the quilt is facing down like that, it will be clockwise.
Yes.
So that's the way, as long as you
the
keep
way it
it the
goes.
same. With this, I'm doing it this way around so you can see all my seams. But obviously, normally the other way, I do it the other way around.
Yeah. Philippa says, morning all, thank you very much. And Karen says that she's just bought a standard lamp for in her bathroom, which is all O'Deal. I mean, anybody that follows Karen, have a look in her, I was going to say have a look in her bathroom, because, yeah, she's properly O'Dealed it up with all of the O'Deal fabrics that we've had. And now she's saying, is it too much? No, Karen, no. We look forward to your order.
I have a plan with some fabric, because I have a fabric range that's coming out soon, and in my living room I want a good sized lamp, and I'm going to make the lamp shade with my fabric.
Beautiful.
Because I picked one out because it's just going to be perfect.
Well, I mean, we've got the Hendrix gin bottle behind you
I
there,
saw that, yes.
with our William Morris lampshade.
Yep.
We've got K Facet lampshades.
I'm kind of looking at sort of that size, or big, that one there that
that
you've
one
got,
that's
that
not on the
K
screen. Yeah.
that big K Facet, that kind of size.
Yeah.
But I'm looking for something quirky to make the stand out of. But yesterday, me and my next door neighbour were up ladders putting, because where I work at home in my conservatory, I'm looking at a blank wall. Next door's blank wall, and it looks a bit like that wall. It's beige, and it's so I bought.
Is it going to take too long to grow stuff up? Do you need something?
No,
quicker?
because I'm not growing anything. It's a fake. I bought a fake living wall, which is trellis with leaves all over it and flowers. But it's down my conservatory. It's only about this wide down there. And I've put this thing on the wall, and it fills the frame, and I'm going to put some fairy lights
Amazing.
in it, and I'm going to see if I can grow some things. But it's sort of an instant fix. But living wall up the side of my conservatory, opposite. So on next door's.
Good old next door.
Yeah, next door won't know.
No.
He never sees that part of his house.
No.
And it was just a couple of screws in there.
There you go.
But yeah, so doing that, and it's just like, what fun can I have next with stuff that I can find. Right, we have got to the point now where we've come to the end of our first strip.
Oh, okay.
And you'll see it doesn't quite reach.
No.
So that's where we get this one. And we put them right sides together. I'm going to leave the selvage on for now. Sew those two together because they're the same colour. And then cut the selvage off and the seam allowance. And I'm just going to finger press that first. And there we go.
Beautiful.
See? And we just carry on. So I've got orange, 2 seams here and here, and then the orange. And you just keep going, doing the border, adding your strips. Each time you've done one round, you'll add those corner pieces in again.
So when you've got a full square, add them in.
You have to add them at that point. You can't add them later.
No.
So
not unless you get a colouring pen. It's about the only way that's going to happen.
You could applique a triangle on the top. No one would know. Right. Ooh. I love the speed of this machine.
It's a bit good, isn't it? They've just brought out one specifically for bag making as well.
You know, that's what you need when you're doing a full skirt and you've got like 4 meters of hem to do.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm bored now. All right. So I just finished this last round. And then this was, somebody said earlier about making it into a cushion. This would be a nice cushion size.
Yes. Perfect. It was Wendy.
So you could make it with wider strips.
Narrower strips,
And
whichever way
narrow
around you want to do it.
strips, yep. You could also mix up the size strips if you wanted to. That takes a bit more planning though. You'd end up with quite a bit of waste, I think, if you did that. But what I tend to do when I'm designing is I'm not just thinking about the design. I'm also thinking about the most economical use of the fabric that I've got.
Yes.
So if you do 6-inch strips, but then that leaves you with a 5-inch strip left over, I don't know if that's the maths, but if it left me with a 5-inch strip left over, I wouldn't do it because that would be, to me, too much waste. So I've chosen this one because you get a good number of strips out of your 1/2 metre.
That's what we
and
want.
you're only left about 1 inch and a bit, maybe 2 inches left over. So there's not too much waste.
Perfect. Geraldine says that I would make fab cushions as well. Oh, my plain subscription has just arrived, beautifully folded, and the colours are lovely. Geraldine, it's just the start. It's just the start. By the end of the year, you're going to have, 88 odd of them.
Wow.
I know, it's good, isn't it?
Well, it is. That sounds great fun.
You're not going to stop, are you? You're just going to keep on going.
I'm just finishing this round because then because I might actually make this into a cushion.
Jackie, if you want to get the rainbow fabric and the pattern together, you get £5 off. So it's £44.99 or £44.98 or something like that. And then if you manage to whack another £5 in there and take it over £50, then you can add a 1/2 metre of fabric in for free. You just have to actually physically add it to your order. Have a look on the website, it's all on there. And yeah,
Bargain.
and add in the code free 1/2 metre. And you're all good.
Oh, what about wadding? Could they add the wadding in?
You can add wadding.
Yeah, because then you've got the whole thing. Because I didn't include wadding in this.
That's the only thing that's not included, isn't it?
Yeah, because you've got the binding, you've got the backing, you've got everything else. It's just, as I said, it's just the wadding. Because wadding, we talked about this before. Wadding can be a very personal choice.
But we've got some great prices on wadding. It's all up there. Have a good rootle through. Would be what I would say, Jackie. Have a good old rootle around, see what you can find.
And here we go.
Beautiful.
So, I'm just going to trim off these. Oh, there you go. Lay that out. Just going to trim these bits off.
Gorgeous.
That's all right. That one's good.
Yeah, John says, but the fact that this has the top and the backing and the binding is incredible. Well, and the pattern for $44.99.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just...
The thing is, I deal a lot in my day-to-day with beginners.
Yeah.
And my books are always aimed at, you know, complete newbies. And I think sometimes people are, if you're a brand new person, when you start a new hobby, you're just like, I don't know where to start. I don't know what to get. I don't have a stash. Whereas something like this is going to give you a quilt. If this is your first quilt, all you need to think about is the wadding and the thread. The rest has all been thought out for you. So here we go.
That is gorgeous. Gorgeous.
Let's put that in the middle so you can get a proper look at it.
Just blinking gorgeous.
So what will happen then, and if we look at the one behind, you can see that one starts with the pink in the middle, which is one end of the strip, and this one starts with the blue. So it's got a slightly different look to it, and they go in opposite directions, as I said. But you sort of get, there's no kind of break in the colour ombre because we're sewing the ends together. And I just think it's lovely, and I love the way that it's just happened that up in this corner I've got 3 areas of the yellow going into the gold and then into the green and the orange.
It's just lovely. Just lovely.
As soon as I saw the fabric, I went, oh, I know, I want to make a log cabin. I want to make a log cabin for Natasha. Because I said to you, didn't I? I said, I've got a plan.
Yeah, because this is the only place you can get it right now, isn't it?
It is indeed. Yes, this is exclusive to you.
Oh, thank you, darling. Thank you so much. So, my lovelies, that is Sarah's show for you today. Do make use of the Creative Grids offer, of the ½ metre offer. You can't use them both together, but you can pick one or t'other. What else?
Or what you do is you buy your thing with the ½ metre.
Yeah.
And then you come back later.
Yes.
And you buy your
Yeah, I mean, that's just it, isn't it? You know, they're there for you to use. Annie says, your home is lovely, Sarah, and it was such your own style.
Oh, thank you. You see, I spent many years thinking we've had this conversation before, you grow up thinking you're weird.
Oh, I know.
And then you spend many years thinking that nobody else thinks the way you do. And then at some point you find your people.
Yes.
And you find your tribe. And your tribe is just as passionate and just as excited about things as you are. And you suddenly think, you know what? I've come home.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So as my tribe.
Welcome to our tribe. We're all good.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm taking the rest
you.
of this home though. You're not keeping these bits.
No, it's fine. Don't you worry.
So remember, this is extra
I've got the
wide.
full bolts here,
You
love.
have
You can take your ½ metre.
I did say
I've got the bolts.
I said to her, if there's any left, just let me know and I'll pick it up. And she was like, do you think?
La 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 la.
Yeah, fair trade is no robbery. We'll just swap. But yeah, so this is extra wide. So this is 108 inches wide, which means, you know, you don't have to be cutting lots of small pieces. And if you want to, you can sew them all together. I tend to only sew a few of them together when I get to the outside, because in here, you're working with small pieces. But your first strip will take you almost 3 rounds. And then you just sew them together. And keep going.
Oh, John says, hug Sarah, nice to see you again. Big hugs, have fun, learn. Oh, well, John, I'm going to send Sarah home because, you know,
I'm going home to bed now.
Absolutely. And Elizabeth says, you don't look exhausted after today. That is great.
Thank you.
It is what time is it? It's nearly 11:30.
Yeah, I've been up
right.
since
You've done a
6.
half day.
Yeah, I've done. I won't feel guilty about going home and having a lie down.
No, you've done well.
But you see, I'm making as well, and I always find that as soon as I get fabric in front of me, it doesn't matter how tired I am or how rubbish you feel, it just lifts me. Bright colours. It's good for
John
your brain.
says bacon rolls fix everything. I mean, if you've got time, we could have a little trip down to and check out Jane's fabulous baps.
I think that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I think that will sort me out a treat.
Yeah. And Pam says, this is definitely my tribe. Well, welcome. Guys, we're going to let Sarah go and eat bacon sandwiches before she goes home. Thank you so much. Gemma is in charge tomorrow.
Oh, Gemma.
I am not nervous at all. I will be on that there crate and craft.
You'll be over near me, won't you?
I will be be over that. Yeah, I'm just going to chase down the motorway at a sensible speed, obviously. John says they are awesome. He's talking about Jane's Baps and the flowery Baps. Yeah.
The best kind.
Kind.
You see, I'm being very careful because I know what happens here. As soon as we talk about a flange or anything like that, it just gets ridiculous. So I'm just going to go, nice Baps.
Lovely. And we will see all of you. Yeah, it is Gemma tomorrow. Gemma and Jane. I saw something with Liberty.
Oh, you can't beat a bit of Liberty.
Yeah, it's sailing boats and Liberty. I think we might even do some like Liberty scrap bags.
You tease me with your loveliness.
I know. Sorry about that. Right, guys, we're going to go eat. So we will... We've got to go.
We've got to go, yeah, let's go eat, drink, and be fabric merry.
Yeah. Lots of love. Thank you very much. And we'll see you. Jen will see you tomorrow. I'll be back Wednesday with Jane. Toodle pip.
Oh, I enjoyed that.